Hello everyone, my name is Chris, and thank you to Aidan for inviting me on to his four favourites segment. And these are obviously my four top rated movies that I like. Obviously I've seen this done on red carpets and things wherever they ask people their four favourite movies, and some of them have very obscure choices, and mine hopefully aren't that obscure. So we'll start off strong. We'll start off with number one, which is my favourite Star Wars movie, which is Return of the Jedi. I'm that old that I remember seeing this in the cinema with my late father in 1983. So I would have been 5 then. So I remember seeing that. This DVD version is the Laserdisc transfer, which is the original cut of the movie. I do have the despecialized editions on Blu-ray, which are obviously a lot better because the aspect ratio of this is absolutely horrific. You need to like zoom in just to see it, and it cuts people's heads off and stuff, which isn't really ideal in Star Wars. But yes, so number one is Return of the Jedi. Number two is my favorite Disney movie of all time, which is The Emperor's New Groove, which we have on VHS, which I got for £1 in a charity shop, and then this DVD, which I got whenever this first came out, whenever I worked in Extravision, which over in Northern Ireland was the version of Blockbuster. So I bought that. So I've had this since it came out, and I just adore watching this. Obviously, now with Disney Plus and stuff, that's great, but there was a time where I didn't really have internet, where BT stood for bloody terrible, and I needed to use physical media, so I was glad that I had, well, not this, because I don't have a VHS player, so I was able to have this here to watch. This is just a really, really good Disney movie. It's just obviously got David Spade and John Goodman. John Goodman, I think, has done like 3 Disney movies, because he's done this, Princess and the Frog and Monsters Inc. So I think he's probably one of those more highly prolific ones, if you're not counting John Ratzenberger. So yeah, it's just a really, really funny movie. I just love some of the quips and everything from that. So this would be number 2. Number 3 will continue the Disney trend, it seems, which is, excuse me, Avengers Assemble, or The Avengers to people in the States. Again, went to see this in the cinema with my dad, and we both really enjoyed it. We obviously had seen the movies beforehand, like Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, but after watching this, we rewatched those movies and we came to appreciate them a lot more. So yeah, Avengers is my favorite Marvel movie. Just pipping out the likes of Infinity War. So it's a tough call, but I had to go with the classic one. It's hard to believe as well how old this movie is. If I could, 2012. So what's that, 13 years ago? That's quite scary whenever you think about that. And I wanted to end this part with my favorite comedy movie. Obviously, Emperor's New Groove is comedy, but my favorite comedy movie is Planes, Trains and Automobiles. I was happy to pick this up on Blu-ray. God, I sound like Aidan. Picked this up Blu-ray, CX, £8. I think it was actually £8 in CX, ironically enough. This is just a real good feel-good movie. Obviously, it's set around Thanksgiving, but I tend to watch it at Christmas time. But it is one of those ones that you can watch any time of year. It's just such a good feel-good movie. Full of laughs, and it is just one of those ones where John Candy is just exceptional. Steve Martin obviously is very good, and that scene where he goes to pick up his rental car, if you know, you know. I'm not going to say it in case Ian gets a strike or anything, so I'm not going to say it, but look it up. But yeah, if you haven't seen this film is a must for you. So hope you enjoyed my top 4 movies. Hello, and yes, me again. And now it's time for my 4 favorite movies from my collection. So this can kind of be anything, but I've decided to go with movies that I still watch to this day, that I watched whenever I was a child. And we'll start strong. We'll be a bit weird in the middle, and we'll start finish. It's almost like a weird sandwich. It's good bread, and the film you're not so sure about. So number 1 is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I adore this movie. It's obviously the first time we've seen Disney and Warner Brothers characters interact with each other. It came to the point where they had to actually make sure that Disney didn't have more words than Warner Brothers. They had to make sure they had both the same amount of words. Bob Hoskins obviously was Eddie Valiant. Eddie Murphy was Eddie Murphy, and I think Bill Murray. Both were offered this role and then didn't take it. I know Bill Murray was, but no, I think Eddie Murphy was. But yeah, this is just such a good movie. I met Christopher Lloyd at one of the London comic conventions, and I met him because of this more so than Back to the Future. That's how much this movie means to me. Um, my late father was the one who introduced me to this movie. Whenever my mother was in hospital, he took us out to rent the movie and have burgers instead of a Sunday dinner. But we were promised not to tell mum, and sadly that was broke a few years ago. So yeah, so this has a lot of sentimental value to me, and it's just a brilliant movie, and just one of my favorites that, again, like all these movies, I still watch to this day. Number two is a movie you may not have heard of, which is The Wizard with Fred Savage, Christian Slater, and Beau Bridges. Now, this I first saw in 1991. I know this because I have a diary from then saying that I watched this. Now, this is to do with the fella Jimmy here is autistic, but he's very good at video games, and they enter him into a video game competition, which is in California, I think it is, because he keeps saying California, but they end up going to it. And this is the first time you've ever seen Super Mario 3. So this was long before the days of the internet, wherever you get teaser trailers, you get teaser trailers for trailers. You know, this was the first time we saw Super Mario 3, and he was managed to find a warp whistle, which I don't know how he did that, but anyway. But this is just a movie that if I want to relive my childhood again, this is always a strong one to go for. You can see here Fred Savage has the power glove. It's so bad. But yeah, it's just weird seeing Christian Slater playing the first Turtles game on the NES. But if you haven't seen this, now this had to be an American pickup because it never came out here in the UK. But this is just one that makes me think of my childhood. So does this one. Now, I asked Aidan if it had to be movies, and Aidan said yes. So this is a movie, which is Secret of the Sword. So this was like a crossover with He-Man and She-Ra. Basically, they released the first 5 episodes of She-Ra, and then they put it together as a movie and added some little scenes into it. So this was again out in around the late 80s, early 90s. I can't remember the date of it, but this again encapsulated my childhood. I remember renting this out several occasions and just loving it. Again, this is one that I still watch. I'm a huge Master of the Universe fan. I used to have a Master of the Universe podcast and interviewed like Larry DiTillio, who was a writer for this. And I think they actually spelt his name wrong in the credits, which is shocking to hear. But yeah, it's got like some 5 episodes, but Secret of the Sword was the main reason why I bought this. And we'll end strong with, I'm sure, what everyone has heard of, which is the Muppet movie. Now, this movie is as old as I am, if not older. I think this came out in 1978, which is the same age as me. In 1979, it won Best, or was nominated for the Rainbow Connection from this movie. I just adore the Muppets. I really wish that Disney would do more with the Muppets, as in more Muppet movies. You know, we get so many Scooby-Doo movies, which is fine, you know, like animated, but why can't we have more Muppet movies? Why can't we reboot the Muppet Babies, or reboot different aspects of, you know, people are clamoring for like a Star Wars Muppet movie, which would be hilarious. Obviously, they've done like a Wizard of Oz, Haunted Mansion, that kind of thing. But this has so many cameos. Again, Steve Martin in it, the likes of Mel Brooks, and countless others, Telly Savalas, among others. But the Muppet movie is always a movie that I enjoy watching. The music in it is just iconic. In fact, so much so that one of the songs, I think it was Rainbow Connection, was covered for the 70th anniversary of Disney. So there you go. That's my 4 favourite childhood movies. So thank you very much, Aidan, for having me on, and until next time.
yes, Chris, thank you so much for coming on and being a part of this series. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope you had a good time. I know I did, and I hope everyone else watching today does. I will leave a link to Chris's Instagram down below, so go and check out his Instagram and give him a follow over there. It's a really good account. He's a big fan of Disney, and yeah, it's a really good account with loads of Disney content. Chris goes to Disney and stuff like that. Yeah, so highly recommend you check out his Instagram, and once again, I will leave a link down below. There was quite a gap between episodes 1 and 2, but I am back next week with another episode, so stay tuned for that. If anyone watching does want to be a part of the series, all you've got to do is send me a message over on Instagram, let me know, and I can let you know the details and all that good stuff. This series is open to anybody, whether you are a user of Letterboxd, whether you follow me over on Instagram, if you're subscribed, and yeah, for anyone in the Blu-ray collecting community. I've got a few guests lined up that I want to invite on, but like I said, another episode is coming out next week, so stay tuned. Once again, thank you to Chris for coming on. Thank you to the viewers today for watching today's video, and I will be back on Sunday on the channel with another installment of my Blu-ray collection video series. So stay tuned for that, guys, and I'll see you then.